Hello there, this is Mike Goldenberg here, running some green-black rock. On the die roll, I would love to go first. So this hand has a turn 1 Inquisition into a turn 2 Scavenging Ooze. As long as I draw another land, I think this hand is okay. The Field of Ruin, if that was a Blooming Marsh, this hand would be great, but I will keep it because turn 1 Inquisition, the turn 2 threat is what I'm trying to do here. And I am running 24 lands, so I can just hope to draw into a land over the next couple turns. I do have the shock here. The opponent did mold a 6. I think it's a unique position that the Rock is in right now because it's one of the better mid-range decks against the big mana, because it does have the access to the Field of Ruins main. Ooh. Okay, we're up against some serious spice here. Eternal Witness seems to be pretty valuable, but no matter what happens, they are kind of well off. I can take their turn 2 play off. Now, Scavenging Ooze kind of negates what Eternal Witness does, so let's just play out the next couple turns. So next turn I'm going to drop a Scavenging Ooze, I'm going to untap, and hopefully, I'm going to have at least 1 green mana. My opponent's going to play a land of pass. And then they're going to then play this 2-drop. I think I actually just want to take the 2-drop, just to give something for my Scavenging Ooze to eat, and to stop my opponent from progressing their turns. Honestly, with that particular hand and me having Scavenging Ooze, any spot, taking anything was actually kind of fair there. Okay, so because they dropped the Dork, I'm going to get punished here by them having the Eternal Witness to buy back. That was a very good draw on our opponent's side. So now they can Overgrown Tomb, Eternal Witness, buy back the Cutthroat. Yep. I don't want to trade here, and I still am desperately in the market for 1 more land. Big reason I don't want to trade is my opponent can just buy something back with Rally here. Okay. Just taking the payoff card, so this I could have taken Stitchers or the Rally right there. Either one was a fine take. Either way, until I draw another land, I'm really kind of in a rough spot right here. Opponent should be attacking, especially with 2 Cutthroats in play. I had 4 draw steps and failed to hit a land on them so far. It certainly happens. It's certainly possible to happen. We can see that happening right now. Opponent's not attacking, so I'm just going to try to attack just to influence life totals a little bit here. Blooming Marsh would be a great draw here. Push is okay. I'm pushing now just to grow the Goyf by 2. Oh, Rally was already in there, growing by 1. Don't like the spot I'm in. Opponent's got huge board advantage right now. I had to get rid of those cutthroats at some point. The real question is, can I get to turn 8 before drawing a land? I have 21 lands left in my deck because I used a fetch. 21 out of 46. We're getting to the point where it's almost 50-50 to draw a land here. Yeah, they should do this now because I am tapped out. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yep, we're dead. Okay. Last Hope seems pretty good here. Decay seems pretty good. Spellbomb and Surgicals are both good. EE can probably be put on 1. That seems decent. And Languish is a board wipe that I'm intrigued with. Brutality is a removal spell that gets much more stock than our trophies here. Thoughtseize doesn't seem as good in this spot. Disruption's nice, but my life total does matter, and they don't really have too many things that Inquisition isn't hitting here. Push is good, Surgical's good. Might cut a Field of Ruin. I'm cutting Veil because they want discard anyway, and Veil's pretty bad against Mana Dork decks. 1 land hand, we'll mulligan that. I'll keep a turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Dark Confidant with a Scooz in hand. Absolutely. Keep. The real question here is, do I get a basic swamp, or do I shock so I have extra green mana for when I eventually untap with Skoos? I think I'm just going to get the basic swamp here. Basic swamp Inquisition. That's less painful for my Dark Confidant, and with Bob I should be able to draw into additional lands. Hopefully I play more than 2 lands this game. Because we had that game. We had that entire game. We had the Scavenging Ooze, which shut down their entire strategy. We just did not have enough green mana to actually do anything with it. I probably shouldn't have pushed in the spot that I did, but I was trying to make something happen. I can't win if my opponent draws a rally and I don't draw my 3rd land through 7 turns. What am I going to get rid of here? I think Tarmogoyf's the worst one. Similar open to last game. If they path my Bob, that gives me extra green mana for Skoos. Don't necessarily hate that. I'm going to take the Supplier here. Take the Enabler. It's going to take me... I don't have a Spell Bomb or a Surgical in hand, so it's going to take me a little bit to set up my Grave 8. Blooming Marsh should be great here. That works too. Fully expecting and actually wanting this to get path exiled isn't terrible. It's a 1-for-1 trade. I don't want Bob to die, but I don't mind it. The 1-for-1 trade to get me extra green mana to make my Scavenging Ooze, which is the real threat, a little bit more threatening here. Interesting, they didn't play a fetch land. So I can Abrupt Decay this Viscera Seer, which is one of their enablers, and then exile it so it's permanently gone on their end step. Or I can save the Abrupt Decay for potentially something more threatening after the Collected Company. What is my best possible draw here? Liliana of the Last Hope. That's better than anything else I could draw at this particular moment. So I want to put myself in the best situation if I do draw her. If I draw Liliana of the Last Hope, which I have 2 in, I'd rather not decay. So with that being the case, I think I'm just going to eat and fetch. Not a great draw there. I'm getting a lot of requests to play rock, so I figured I'd try it out. I like the mana base. I like the mana base a lot. I think having Field of Ruin is pretty sweet. Rock just feels so much clunkier to me than oh, they still have a Windswept Heath in their hand. Windswept Heath and Eclectic Company. So our opponent only has 3 basics, which is why they're casting Collected Company now. They whiffed. That's rough. So I'm definitely going to make sure I remember to exile that Collected Company. Eternal Witness will be a pain right here. There's no point in holding up Field of Ruin at the moment. I'd rather just get rid of the Collected Company. I could crack a clue, try to get a Fatal Push, and do something cute like that. I don't think that's worth it either. If they have a path, they're probably going to path the Skoos anyway, not the Tracker. Siding up my trophy seems like a potential mistake here with the Worship coming in. Haven't seen that card in a while. Of course, I have enough removal where I can just kill other creatures anyway. Yep. Great. One of the few fetches left in my deck here. Okay. No Fatal Push for me. Opponent with 1 card left in hand, so I'm pretty sure I have this here. If they had more cards in hand, I would not have played Goyf there. But now I'm relatively safe from something, barring like a double like Path Exile. Even then, I was still pretty safe. That's one way to get around Worship. Okay. So they do have Collected Company, so Thoughtseize might interest me to come back. I still think Liliana the Veil is pretty terrible. I have the board wipe to do cleanup. I have engineered explosives to do some cleanup. Kalitas is good graveyard. I think I got the graveyard pretty well covered here with the spell bombs and surgicals and everything else here. I actually might even want to just cut a surgical. But hitting their Blood Artist effect is probably too important to cut. Yeah, I think I like that. Finally, a hand I'm pretty comfortable with here. This hand is a very proactive open. Turn 1 discard into turn 2 Dark Confidant. I do wish it had a Scavenging Ooze, but I can draw into that. I am on the draw here for the first time. So hopefully that works out. Opponent mold to 6. One thing I love Tireless Tracker, and I think this is the best Tireless Tracker deck around right now. But I just feel like the deck can sometimes be a little clunky, like we saw game 1 where I just never drew a second land. I'll just take the Cutthroat, and hopefully I can exile it. You could argue just take Elvish Visionary, try to keep them off of a land here, because the play should be right here, Elvish Visionary, unless they drew into a land. Yep. Then they're going to try to draw into a land and then play Supplier or Seer. Elvish Visionary is a pretty sweet card. I've been trying to think of ways to run it in my own Coco decks, just because it's a pretty good Coco hit. One thing to note, opponent only has single white right now, represented by the Birds of Paradise, so even if they still need to draw into their win condition spell, and also draw into one more white source to be able to play it. Bob Trigger. Beautiful. Okay. I thought about holding up the Overgrown Tomb there just to represent an extra mana, but I don't think it was worth it. I could exile one of the Cutthroats there to keep them off their combo, but again, like I said, they're a couple turns off from being able to do their combo anyway, because this costs double white, and they didn't have access to double white yet. They only had single white off of the bird, so they need to draw into another white source and return to the ranks. So I feel like I've had a little bit of time, and I got punished by my opponent having the exact removal spell they needed there. Still think I have plenty of time, and Cletus is a perfect answer. Cletus is a replacement effect, they never die, so it stops their combo right then and there. Okay, Fatal Push would be wonderful here. Perfect. Our opponent's in a rough spot here because right now they have to consider whether or not they want to wipe their own board. Yep. So they can use a return to the ranks later. They're bottoming. Okay. Get rid of their white source. I'm in a unique position here where I believe I can actually... They put a card on top. Okay. I believe I can attack with Dark Confidant here. I have plenty of card draw with the Tireless Tracker in my hand. I have a Kalitas on board. And if they want to trade Viscera Seer with a Dark Confidant right now, I will gladly trade one of their combo pieces to get to transform my Bob into a 2/2 zombie. I think that would actually heavily favor me, to be honest. Okay, so that's a card they put on top. Opponent scries top. Okay. And again, if they want to trade here, I'm way ahead. I don't think I even need the cards at the moment. Getting the clue right now, just in case they top deck exactly land and path, although I think that Kalitas is scarier, but just this way I can be a little bit more efficient. And I can guarantee that I get that second clue. I think this is definitely a favorable matchup for the Rock. Game 1 we just drew very, very poorly. Okay. All right, 1-0. I will see you in round 2.